Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. From a number of questions which I see in the comments below my videos and also the mails that I get from people or the messages that I get from people, many times I realize that there is a lot of haziness in how people read their horoscopes. Either they are not sure how to read their horoscopes, or they look at individual placements or one placements, and then from that they try to decipher what the meaning is, what the manifestation is. For examples, below my videos in the comment section, I would get people asking me about one placement. My Jupiter is debilitated in the 9th house under the aspect of Ketu. What results will I get? How do I know? I don't know all the aspects, I don't know all the degrees, I don't know the nakshatra, I don't know if there are any yogas, I don't know your dasha, I don't know your transits. How can I, through one placement, be able to decipher what that placement means? Even if you give me 2 or 3 connected, whenever you look into a horoscope is seen holistically. All the planets play a part, the nakshatras play a part, the transits play a part, the dasha plays a part, the strength of the planet plays a part, the yogas and doshas play a part, and then holistically one has to be able to decipher the results of a horoscope. And if you look at just one placements, there is every reason for you to go wrong. So I want to bring about to you through this video, not that I have not done this earlier. I have given you a generic way of being able to see a horoscope also, but today I want to talk a little more in depth on how to see a horoscope and how to then manifest or decipher through a holistic manner what the disseminations can be, what the probable permutations and combinations can be, and what are the high probabilities of a person facing in his or her life. There are no guarantees, but the permutations and combinations coming together with placements, doshas, yogas, aspects bring together a lot of higher probabilities to a certain dissemination. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm not getting too much into aspects and not too much into yogas and doshas. I'm keeping it very, very simple so that one understands at a very simple level, at a one glance, how can one see what can be the probabilities of a certain result coming through in one's life through how one looks into a horoscope. So I'm going to use an example of a Sagittarius ascendant with explaining the placements to you, and then how each of the placements you look at, and then slowly one by one you look at the relation they are forming with each other, the relation they are forming with the Mool Trikona sign placement and the other placement. So planet which goes 6th from its Mool Trikona sign but 9th from its other sign. There are 2 meanings to this. 6th from a Mool Trikona sign in a friendly sign is a different thing, and 6th from a Mool Trikona sign in unfriendly sign is a different thing. And then being placed 9th from its other sign in a friendly sign is a different thing, and in an unfriendly sign is a different thing. So how does one look into, from both the signs, the placement, how far the planet is placed, and then how one looks holistically, adding all the energies together, all the permutations together, and through all the permutations and combinations then come out with an analysis and say this is what can happen to you or in your life, or these are the possibilities for you. And that is very, very important. So let's jump into it. Then let's look at a very simple manner how one can read into the probabilities for this particular person. So let's see how one can look into a horoscope from a more larger perspective, looking at the placements of the planets from its both placements, from its Mool Trikona sign placement as well as its other sign, and how does one look at a horoscope holistically and read it holistically. Here is the horoscope of someone whose ascendant is the Sagittarius ascendant and whose Lagna Lord Jupiter is in the 11th house, And Jupiter also rules, apart from the Lagna, the 4th house in the horoscope and is placed 11th from its Mool Trikona sign. And similar is the placement of other planets like Sun, Venus, Rahu, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Ketu, Moon from various placements from their Mool Trikona signs or from their other signs. So let's look at one by one from each planetary perspective. How does one analyze the placement of a planet from its Mool Trikona sign and its other sign, and how does one read more into those placements? So firstly, let's go with the Lagna Lord. Here the Lagna Lord being Jupiter and being placed 11th from itself in the 11th house, it shows that the person will invest his wisdom in relationships because it is placed in the sign of Libra and in the 11th house of social network. So the person will invest and be wise in how he treats his relationships with his extended network, with his social network and masses in general, and will be known by the general masses as a wise person, as a guide also. Now, while being placed 11th from its Mool Trikona sign, and this is the powerful position, and generally every planet's position should be majorly seen from its Mool Trikona sign and then also from its other sign. Now, which is Jupiter's other sign? Jupiter's other sign is the Pisces sign ruling the 4th house. And how far is Jupiter placed from its other sign, the 4th house? Jupiter is placed 8 houses away from its 4th sign. Now, what does the 4th house mean? The 4th house means mother, relationships with mother, property, material conveniences and also education, which means the person, while trying to handle his relations with mother, his investments in a wise manner, but going 8 from itself also means that the person will face challenges, obstacles and upheavals in his relationship with mother and in building property and making property and enjoying the conveniences of property and conveniences. However, because it is Jupiter which is involved here, so the person will still treat the relations wisely and will face obstacles, challenges coming from both mother and in material positions wisely, and will however still face challenges and issues from both mother and material conveniences, and will have to struggle to get better manifestations from both mother and property as well as in his domestic life, and he will have to struggle to get mental peace and also domestic happiness because Jupiter is going 8th from its 4th house, which is the other sign. However, counting from its Mool Trikona sign, which is the Lagna, and being placed 11th from itself, which means the wishes and desires of the person will come through with wisdom, with keeping relationships, and will be seen as a wise person, even a spiritual person, in how he deals with the extended masses and the social media and the social network, which means the masses will know him, or the outside world will know him more as a person who is a guru, who is a master, who is an expert in his field, and through this reputation of his and through his wise mannerism of dealing with his social network, with masses in general, the person will get gains and will do very, very well, and can also do well in a partnership with somebody, and through that partnership can also gain in the social media. Now, where is his second lord placed? His second lord and his third lord both are Saturn, and is placed in the 5th house in its debilitation sign, because Saturn gets debilitated in Aries. Now, how far is Saturn placed from its Mool Trikona sign, which is the major impact? The major impact coming from its Mool Trikona sign, and Saturn is placed 3rd from itself, which means that in his self-enterprise, in his effort, in his communication skills, in his ability to use the social media, in his marketing and branding, he will have to work very, very hard and then only get gains out of his interactions, his social media presence, because Saturn is going third from itself. So third lord going third from itself means very strong denotations about communication, about social media presence, about ability to use social media and the internet. But the person will have to work very hard in a self-enterprise role where he wants to branch out on his own and use the social media for gains, and he will connect that to his hobbies, to what he likes and what he does, and through that he will be able to get results. However, because Saturn here is placed with Mars, which means Mars placed in its own Mohr Trikona sign will give the person the energy in spite of challenges and obstacles, because Saturn is in its debilitation sign, but being in a niche bhang and with Mars, the planet of energy and effort, so the person's effort will bear fruit and his focus will be in the area which he likes to do, which is his hobbies and what he loves to do, and in that line he will put in his effort and getting connected to his Mohr Trikona sign of communication, which means he will also gain from it, because the 5th house is also the house of gain. However, because the 5th house is also the house of education, which means the person will have to put in a lot of effort in his education, but he will also face obstacles and hiccups in his education before he completes it, and this is more related to his school education or up till his graduation. But which is the other sign of Saturn? The other sign of Saturn is the 2nd house, and here Saturn is going forth from itself. Now Saturn here rules income, also rules savings, also rules livelihood, rules family, and going forth from itself but in a debilitation sign means that gains from family, because the 4th house to any house is the gains from that house, materialistic gains from that house. So gains from family in which he is born will be difficult to come by. So inheritance will be difficult to come by. Support from the family in which he is born will be difficult to come by, and family support will be lacking. In earning and getting his income, he will face obstacles when he tries to earn from his hobbies or what he likes to do and loves to do, and does that as a vocation. Because Saturn is going forth from itself, it will bring gains, but after issues, after challenges, because Saturn is going into his debilitation sign but being in a niche bhang, which means though late, but the person will eventually get success and will get good success. Now we have already talked about the 4th house disseminations being the Lord, Jupiter being the Lord. Let's go to the 5th house ruler Mars. The 5th house ruler Mars placed in its own sign in the 5th house, which means that the person will put in a lot of energy and effort, and his inclination will be towards what he loves to do, towards sports, also towards education, learning, and also towards his children in the long run. He will also be very inclined towards speculative investments, a person who takes risks and also takes risks in his career, because Mars is placed 8th from the 10th house. However, how far is Mars, the Lord of the 5th house, placed from the other sign, which is Scorpio? Here Mars is placed 6th house away from its other sign, which is Scorpio, which rules the 12th house. Now the 12th ruler going 6th from itself, which means obstacles to losses, because the 6th house is the house of challenges and issues to the 12th house losses. But Mars here is placed in its own sign and a friendly sign. So here, rather than inimical results coming through, good results will come through, because Mars also rules the 12th house, which means 12th Lord going 6th from itself means in the matters of spirituality, in the matters of donations, in the matters of charity, in the matters of helping others, maybe coming from foreign lands, the person will serve them, because it is also placed with Saturn, and through his efforts, through his energy, and through his contribution to others who face upheavals in their lives, because the 12th Lord rules, the 12th Lord Mars is related to the Scorpio sign, and so obstacles, upheavals that others will face, the person will put in his effort to help them come out of it, and through that will gain, though over a period of time, because Mars is placed with Saturn, which is the lord of the third house of effort and in its debilitation sign. So this is how you read both the placements or both the sign placements of a planet and how far it is placed from its to both signs. Then when you go to the sixth house is ruled by Venus, but Venus also rules the 11th house, which is its Mool Trikona sign. So here, by virtue of Venus ruling the Mool Trikona sign and placed 5th from its Mool Trikona sign, which means gains coming from the social network, gains coming from the masses, and with effort and using the social media and using sophistication of language and also using one's creativity, because Venus rules the 11th house and placed with Mercury, which also rules the 10th house, which means career is getting connected to being seen as a guru, because Jupiter is placed in Venus's sign. So being seen as a guru by the social media, by the society, by the masses, and his career getting connected to how he uses the social media, how he uses the internet, how he uses his communication skills, how he markets and brands himself through a very unique way of presenting himself, presenting his wisdom, presenting his support, presenting how he will be analytical, how he will be able to analyze people's challenges, people's problems, and as a guru be able to help them using his communication skill, using his effort, using his self-enterprise in a very unusual manner, in a very unique manner because of Rahu's placement, and that will make his career. So he may start off his career in something else, in some other service, but eventually will move to taking up something which he likes to do, which he loves to do, and so he'll face obstacles when he leaves his regular service and then takes up the role of a spiritual guru or being a guide and a consultant to others later on, because he likes to do that and he loves to do that, and with effort he will eventually manifest it. Why do we say that he will pick up something else in the service first? Because Venus also rules the 6th house of service. So initially, because the 6th house of service is connected to Taurus sign, which is a money making sign, so initially his service will be related to making money. Why do we say his initial service will be connected to money and serving? Because here Venus has gone 10th from itself. From the 6th house it has gone 10th from itself, which means he'll start off his career in service trying to make money, because Taurus is the money sign, and he'll put in a lot of effort and he may earn through his communication skills and even marketing. So he may start off his career as a salesperson or even as a marketing person, and through that he will serve others, and because Venus has gone 10th from its 6th house ruling. However, because the more important sign is the Mool Trikona sign, so later on the person will leave that particular service and then take up something that he likes to do, that he loves to do, takes up that as a vocation, and then will be seen as a guru, as a consultant, as a master, and then he'll get gains. Here if you see, Venus is placed well from both its signs. It is placed 5th from its Mool Trikona sign, and it is placed 10th from its 6th house side, and hence here Venus is a very strong, in spite of ruling a Dusthana and a Upachaya house, will still bring very good gains. However, initial obstacles will be faced, initial upheavals will be faced because of the 6th house Dusthana dissemination, but because the Mool Trikona sign is an Upachaya house, so over a period of time, continuing to put in work, hard work, he will eventually get gains connected to using the social media, connected to being seen as a master and a guru with his relationships also. So this is how you see connection between the two houses, two signs, and how far is the Lagna and how far is the ruler of the house placed from its placement. Then let's go to Mercury, which is a very important planet for this horoscope because it rules the 7th house of relationships and the 10th house of career. Now we have already seen that Mercury is getting connected to career because Mercury is the 10th lord and placed with Venus, which also is placed 10th from itself. So very strong dissemination of career getting connected to Venus using the social media and getting money from it using unusual, unique methods to market oneself, and how one uses social media, internet, through communication, through unique communication, through a role of analysis in CB, through a role of being an analytical guru, an analytical master, and through that in sophistication in language, in hard work, getting gains. So that's how you connect 3 or 4 dots. So we are connecting here the 6th house, the 10th house, the 11th house, the Lagna Lord, Jupiter. So analysis, wisdom, being guru, hard work, all we are connected to social media, marketing, and connecting it to Rahu in a usual and unusual, in a unique manner, being able to market oneself, being able to present oneself as a guru, as an analytical guru, as a guru who is an expert, who can look deep within and analyze things closely, and then become a guide to others, keeping his relationships, using his ability to keep good relations with his clients, with his social network, and then getting gains. But how far is Mercury placed from its Mool Trikona sign? Mercury is placed 6th from its Mool Trikona sign, 6th from its 10th house, which means because Mercury is gone into a friendly sign in Aquarius sign, which also is related to the 11th house because Aquarius rules the 11th house. So service getting connected to the larger masses. So, and going 6th from itself, and Mercury is very strong in the 6th house because the 6th house has Virgo energies, and Mercury also gets exalted in the 6th house. So going 6th from itself in the 11th sign and in the 3rd house means the person will put in a lot of effort in getting connected to the larger masses, and getting connected to the larger masses using his analytical skills, using social media, using internet, and then being seen as a guru with his very unique and unusual method of guiding others through his sophisticated language, and then getting gains out of it because of his Venus connection of the 6th house of Artha Bhava and the 11th house, which is also a Kama Bhava of wishes and desires being fulfilled. However, how far is Mercury from its other sign? From its other sign, which is the 7th house, Mercury is placed 9th from its other sign, which means in a marital relationship, the person can meet his spouse at the place of work or connected to the place of work through either short journeys or through his work or even using social media, but his partner may not be from his own religion, from his own caste, but can also be somebody from the other caste because Mercury, which rules the 7th house, has gone 9th from itself and placed with Rahu. 9th house is the house of religion, is also the house of religious ceremonies, which means the person with 7th lord going 9th from itself, which means the person in a religious ceremony may marry a person from the opposite caste. This is stronger denoted because Venus is also placed in the 11th house. Venus, which also denotes a woman for a person, also denotes opposite sex, also denotes relationships. And this is also stronger because Jupiter, which is placed in Venus's Mool Trikona sign, is also aspecting the 3rd house, which is also a Kama Bhava. So the person marries somebody who is connected to his work or meets the person at place of work, gets big gains from the person comes from other caste or other religion and gets a lot of gains from that union also in the long run. Now the 8th lord is moon and gone into the Lagna. Now moon has also gone 6th from itself. So here we have a lot of placements which go 6th from itself, which means a very, very strong service oriented person. The mindset is also service oriented because moon has gone 6th from itself but in a friendly sign. If moon had gone into an unfriendly sign in the 8th house, then it would have been a challenge, but moon has gone into a friendly sign 6th from itself, which means in the matters of challenges, obstacles, upheavals in other people's life, the person has a service orientation, and through that, through being a nurturer, through being a supporter, through his empathy skills, through his sharp mind,
and through his analytical skills which Mercury gives him, the person will be able to make gains, and his reputation will be that of a person who nurtures others, supports others as a guru, and his stature in society will also increase as a person who is very empathetic, who is very caring, who is very supportive, and helps others in going through or facing their upheavals, their challenges, their turbulations in life. So very, very strong service oriented horoscope, but in a manner in which the person later on gives up his career but serves others in his own self effort as a consultant and then gets gains out of it. And because moon is sitting in the Lagna, it means the person will be very, very creative and in the 9th sign of Sagittarius, which means the person will be very adventurous, the person will be very fun loving, the person will be very open to other people's thoughts, and an extrovert also in how he looks at others, how he looks at religions. He will be very, very creative in how he uses religion also. And so this is a strong sign of a person who is the nurturer, who is the supporter, using his empathy skills, gets connected to the social media, keeps relationships, and through that earns in his career and gets gains in his career. Now the 9th house lord is Sun and plays 7 from itself, from its moon Trikona sign. However, Ketu placed in the 9th house means the person will get less gains from father, get less gains also from his gurus. He will get gains from his higher studies and to his higher learning from experiences in life rather than his higher degrees. Even when he gains higher degrees in life, his gains from higher degrees for his career to earn money or to open the doors and fate and luck will not be so much. But as long as he approaches his fate and his luck to serve others, to give up his own needs for the needs of others, then Sun going 7 from itself, from its Mool Trikona sign, and placed with Venus and Mercury, which is also the lord of the 10th house and 11th house, which means that his wishes and desires will come through in a career which gets connected to his high experiences that he gains, and he gives up his own need for the needs of others. Then his career brightens, then he is seen as a leader, then he is seen and then he shines in his career and he gains in his career. Though he gets less support from his gurus, less support from his father, but he gets a lot of wisdom from his higher learning, from his experiences from his higher learning, and through that he gets gains. And so we have covered all the planets which rule different houses and how far they are placed from each other and how the overall dissemination will come through for the person. We saw how he faces challenges from his mother, faces challenges in making property, faces challenges in his conveniences, faces challenges in how he gets his support from father and guru. He gets into a relationship with somebody from another caste, from another religion also, meets the person at the place of work or connected to work, is seen as a guru, even a spiritual guru, because Ketu getting involved in the mix. Both the depositor of the house in which Ketu is placed in the 9th, is placed in the 3rd house under the aspect of Jupiter. So a spiritual guru who uses relationships, which nurtures others, which supports others in a very caring manner, in a very empathetic manner shown by the moon, and leaves his initial career denoted by Venus ruling his 6th house, and after struggles takes up his own consulting work, becomes his own consulting uses unique, unusual ways of marketing himself, branding himself, and converts what he likes to do, what he loves to do into his career, because the 3rd Lord Saturn going into the 3rd house, 3rd Lord Saturn going into the 5th house, what he likes to do, what he loves to do in a niche bang, which means initial issues, initial challenges, initial ups and downs, and ultimate success. So friend, this is how one says in overall how the horoscope should be read from both the Mool Trikona sign and the other side, and how far the planet is placed both from its Mool Trikona house and from another house, rather than seeing only the placement in a certain house.
So friends, now that we have seen through this particular horoscope as an example how different placements from their Mool Trikona sign and from the other sign placed in a certain house, placed with other planets, connected to different houses, what probabilities it may throw up, what combinations it may throw up, what career it may throw up, how the relationship can come about, how the relationship with the mother, father, or other relationships can work out, how the person will use his effort, how the person will use his communication skills, how will the person be able to get gains, where will his wishes and desires get fulfilled, whether education will play an important part or not in his life, whether he will gain good in his livelihood or not, whether he will make property or not, or he'll face challenges and issues there. All of this we have read through this horoscope. Whether he will be doing service, or there are higher chances of service or self-enterprise or his business or his own consultation, we have also seen through this horoscope. So learn to read more into your horoscope, do a more in-depth analysis, and look at the events which have gone by, and then see the connections between your various lords during the dasha period, during the transits. So many times we look at a dasha period of, say, an event happening 10 years back, but we don't look into what were the transits which were happening and whether the transits played an important part in a certain result coming by to us, because transits are the delivery boys of results. So look into your horoscope, understand them better, and from your early experiences be able to work out the permutations and combinations, and through that be able to analyze things for the future. What are the probabilities that your life may throw at you in the future based on the dasha, the transits, the yoga, the placements from each other, and what are the strengths of the planets. So I have not gone in too much into aspects and yogas and doshas here. I've talked a little bit about it so that I don't complicate too many things. But even if this much you are able to do, which I have done with this current horoscope that we use as an example, you would have done almost 50 to 60% of understanding your horoscope better. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.